no a wo koda no obra obo ye nyina na bibia ni mu a kire say by force wo se nyankopon ma de pa che ho e ne pen na hu mobrunti ya fa ho ba se da na se e hye de ati ahye ne ni monyam binu so aka eme ho pa ma me no teach you no eme ho pa. Well, back to the serious business. And we have Masha was a may intercept document be from Tema Refinery. 36 pages. Na bo modi bi ase mekan ni nyina de amamo no mo humpanimfo bi e wo ma o mo dwene a o di man so e de bo man ho bra ni nyina no sen board e wo ho ba 2022 no 2020 we decided say o mo hia say ye diversify Tema Refinery na aboafo bembeboa medical catch was as at May 2023 na Tema Refinery dika $435 million. Na ade asese hia pa wo sempeni 14 discussion boa me ye RFCC enye se de wo na sei eye adwuma sese ye de kudo e kwa ebetuma refine but enya ho for be ka wana etimi biemu a be ma refinery capacity e 45,000 barrels a day no ebetuma kona nim ama ebima hodo mu hia kudo so Ghana etima ton bi ama omo ti we ne ko hia ya e ko ye adwuma medical bo ama na se adwuma ko hodo bi bai na wonu mu fama no ne ya ne ye mienu ebe kan eye towin ko yi a e na akọ fast ma be falcon e na adwuma ba ko ka ho falcon for no kwa de won be ka che yen se Tema Refinery facilities no machines ne guo no eye kama eye papa almost one Eric wo refinery ahodo wo wiase a Nigeria for dia na say be miensa kroma be no foforo ama omo na refine bi enti na nko be je adwuma na beboa e na board member owura penten ne ma me sapara grant eso omo mpene so da yemfama Torinku Torinku ye adwumaku a Ghana fo bi e na akofa de aba fa ne tusuma me ansa na ya be document no so na me be kan page 3 up to 5 me say 36 me kan ni nyina wa ha me boren kakran ko se me wi me nua ya me mfiri hu me be kan page 3 up to page 5 achiro na wo busa wo se anso se aban wa adwuma ye o man ne dia na nya nipa a o ma dwene ti se yi se mfa adwuma no ma adwuma ko we no mo mfa no free ya na nipa a pan to o mo do o mo ko ho no mo to o mo da so wa adwuma na bi ti ne no wo buso o mo sa adwene ban ene da o mo trim na Torinku no DCL Decimal Capital Limited ene change baba ye TMAL ena change baba ye Torinku adwuma kro no a nti me be tro on registration enipa a wo mo sa sha adwuma na se sha so wo mo wo enwa me ma wo sa wo accounts e ko mu no sika dem ye 500,000 Ghana cedis and so wo say o be $22 million ama Tema Refinery ato mo ka no so bi every month Tema Refinery wo ka wo mo bo no eye $1.9 million o mo so metmenya $1 million tie afi ma me no ko document no so document number 1 fatu so mame the blue asensan ase no na yen sha sem fio ene number 1 ene however thank you. The review document do not show any affiliation. And I be catch or say, "Sa this year when I buy no, now we need me Kobia a free Switzerland. I find Vitol. I almost saw here Juma very fine refinery old war our rig near the omo year Juma na ebomu. But don't say a chill rather couldn't in the Vitol for to free home. But omo buy on my catch and penny for say, I want that son Vitol a carbon timpacho 10 year. However, the review document do not show any affiliation or relationship or other support arrangement between Lisi, which is Vitol, the friend is saying, DCL no, Sabre Torinku no, any Vitol or any commitment by Vitol to provide funding, technical assistance or other support to Lisi, which is Decimal Capital Limited, say Torinku no. Vitol appears to be only an off-taker. Timpacho, yanko number 2 no so. Ne mini me kind document ni we are. Me de ne asemi di kana be sia na mako akoto amampuntu no so. So next one mama. na yɛn to so document number 2 thank you afei biemu kakra na ahwefo no hu dia ekoso kakra na wo de ma men kan fi mi phone no so na men komanim na afei yen hwe de ekoso ewo ha or see we have not been provided with any evidence that TAML, which is Torinko now say every DC about TML no, has a functioning board or any structure in place to ensure proper operations, governance. Additionally, the 2 directors has numerous other directorship with limited capacity to adequately focus on their corporate governance of TAML. The Companies Act seeks to avoid act by a single individual in the dual capacity of the director and company secretary, and provided that any provision in the Companies Act which require an act to be done by or to direct and a company secretary will not be considered as done if that act is done by or to a person acting in both capacity. Enti nipa ba ko e director no sa nipa ko na say secretary or company ba ko panimo. Enti sa ba sa nipa e ka ne wasemi director ko trust ne apo obi ama na trotro a nipa ba ko ntimi nya adba no mienu enti enyini mfiri ho company na wo pata my refinery no nipa a director no na say secretary wo company ko no amu Ghana sem e na make show no. Now, I'm talking kind of so. Or see, from our review of the TAML company's profile, George Entry is one of the director of the TAML and serve as the company's secretary as well. And to George Entry, where director our Torinko, one SIA secretary, Pastor Buso, Ghana ha company bang. And a company director no answer company no secretary what even session crata as say me dey kwato register je no answer me director am say secretary aji Ghana dia ye dey kwaji Tema Refinery. On that same page, in order to undertake the proposed transaction, TAML will need a robust company's governance structure to ensure a high level of compliance and the proper performance of the right and obligations under their transaction. Document and type entries into a connection with the proposed transaction. Mr. Entry's position as both director and a company secretary may present complications to the corporation or the corporate governance of TAML in an instance where must be undertaken by the director and the company secretary under the Companies Act. Mr. Entry will be prohibited from acting as his dual position. Intimra adwuma kwa wo mamu no obi akwan say enipa ba kwa director wo say nipa kro no ano wo san ba eba secretary e wo adwuma ni mu ma me nto so on that same page. We recommend that TML consider appointing additional director with the skill, experience, and independence to ensure that TML adhere to international best practices in terms of corporate governance and structure, adhere to the obligations in relation to the proposed transaction. We will recommend that TML appoint another person as company secretary to avoid Mr. Entry serving in both positions. Ntimpacho way, Sajumain, Anna, ma Mr. Paragrant. Ene papa ne din edo wa penten say san kwofo we Ghana pro yempo yemfa Tema Refinery emom na osi statutory booking, keeping minutes books and statutory registration and statutory records of the vital part of the corporation housekeeping. We will not provide with any minute booking or books or statutory registration for either DCML or TML. filing for annual returns expect for their year of cooperation in company and in registrar to file their annual returns once every year to the registrar is nowhere to be found. It was almost can say, Ejuma so kobia, also a fiswa, what do near men in our comma buying, now buy you too, and so much of what woman will be recommend that DCML file exchange changes of suffix and annual return with the register company, register general department as soon as possible, and improve its approaches to compliance by building the necessary capacity and allocating the necessary resource to compliance. Timpacho, sa page asma waka nyina say. Sa you wekwo na omuso mpete mo refinery no. Omu returns impo wo mo mfa nko. Emma register department. Free so omu say adwuma na se e mfin champini dum yensa no omu nya bi da. Na no wa anya afi bia no, we also would 300 Ghana cedis ma ban and also wo mu nkotua. Maybe we with the last document today. Na afi makotena se. Wasi Maminsha Simfiswa Register of Companies DCL was incorporated in 2013 but has not filed any annual return since the year of incorporation. Enti every 2013 no womu kwese adwuma na se no return ba kumpo womu tua bi ma ban adwuma yese emfa Tema Refinery emfa bomo womu bra womu aboba kono no na mamentwa so Aze potential suit against one of the leasing directors. Enti eno so omu ko hwemu a okwa Accra High Court so a owura ni Michael Dakon onu so esiu no no Bank of Africa na esiu no omu cheze pani ani din wo mu no ese onko Bank of Africa na se esiu no na ye katase ne proye bi a wo mu ni kwan so ombe je adwuma no enso de boss wo betima ya me no so wasem e de aba na mamento so say this case could pose a reputational risk to the leasee if these based on the allegations of fraud or other unethical behavior. This suit could also involve material sum of money, and if these are successful, Mr. Daku may be able to pay significant damage to the other penalties and other penalties. In general, one samba kwa and also pay two no. Now, my memory, also TAML does not appeal to have the required license, permits, and authority to undertake the proposed transaction. And the human and penifos and famo findings each say, woman to me crata bia, any a baby and nice such as or make back cooperative Tema or Refinery. Wait, and penifoko fans and truffle say, Tema Refinery, young from one Vincentia, no financial facility. And tell me, Busas and Mumpany, no answer womb, said a year canoe, and I sanity, as a Busana sanity, Mumeyano. Maminko, Namin Kansam Muncho. Na what must say, I'm an name. We have not been able to provide it with the license and the authority required by the TML for the proposed transaction. The MPA require persons seeking operations in the downstream industry to obtain a license. Filing with hefty penalties will appear. Enti wama si okwa MPA so a eye adwuma kwa fa no torinko no wo mo ni tumi krata bia wo ne enti for akambo mu a enu nti wo metuma beje adwuma no e de aye amane me nyina yeyi na mamhwe last recommendation as condition presented on the proposed transaction. The TML must ensure that it has valid license and authority for the corporations, and it does not yet have these licenses in place. Inti me de na de no besi anamako na me bewie no ma me no main report corporate information no so na me wi a na mapon anopai na makoto so. DCL is private limited liability company incorporated in November 14, 2013 under the Companies Act with registration number CS 3066520013. DCL registered and principal place of business in house number 27 Tesano 10th Avenue, Accra, with its postal address being P.O. Box CT 6158 Cantonment, Accra. This year is registered with the principal activities and nature of business described as general trading and business advisory services. Don't look what you know, but I general trading and business advisory services. I don't look what you woman to me crater bia omet maji Tema Refinery I am wejuma. But here, as part of the changes introduced by the new Company Act limited liability, companies are required to affect a change of their suffix to limited company or the abbreviations LTD according to DCL will be required to pass a special resolution to change the suffix to maintain its compliance in the next opportunity, likely the next annual general meeting. We will also note from the search results obtained from the company registrar department, the DCL has not filed any annual return since incorporation under the Companies Act. Well, the company filed the annual returns. The company and every office of the company that is default is liable to pay an additional penalty of 300 Ghana cedis for each year, a day during which the file continues. Enti sadie wano manye na mpanimfo nso sechenchina ye mfa mo na mamenwie. Based on this company profile obtained from the Registrar General Department dated 6 July afia and mpanimfo kwaje sa document here make 2022 no kwaje. The DCO company profile has an annual share of 10 million ordinary share of non-pay value of the 10 million ordinary share. 100,000 ordinary share have been issued and fully paid for in cash. Based on the DCL company profile, DCL has a stated capital of 100,000 Ghana cedis. And I don't account to my capital now. I want to show me no. Now, say 1212 shareholders. Registered Department search result obtained in November 2023 and November 23, 2022 identified DCL Souls shareholder as Asante Kwaku Bekon. However, we noted that the company profile provided by Michael Dakon, also dated November 23, 2022, stated that DCL sole shareholder is a company known as Dakon Investment. The company limited a search file of the Registrar General disclosed that the sole shareholder of Dakon Investment Company Limited is Michael Dakon. A further search dated 5th December 2022 file was filed at the office of the Registrar Company of the to clarify the inconsistency in the shareholding of DCL. The search result disclosed that Asante Bekon transferred all his 100,000 share to DCL in Dakon Investment Company Limited on 15th November 2022. Inti adwuma ba kono enipa mienu ena omden krata akwose adwuma no yom dia we si ye ne dia oru Michael Dakon si ye ne dia ena adwuma kro no anso ye se oru ade din ede Michael Dakon ena oru Dakon company so yom dia enti adwuma kro no enipa mienu ena eche se adwuma no yom dia credibility issue so eso ho enti me busa board members a wo mu ewo Tema Refinery titru oru apenten ena ma me supply grant say o interest I was at this field to do women and saying, Adumekwa, enipa mienu na eklemu say yo modia, company mienu na eklemu say yo modia no. Eye dan and home capacity nyina, 100,000 Ghana cedis. O ma kan sika demu no, 500,000 Ghana cedis no. Ye dey Tema Refinery, ma omu say omu nkwan ni mfinsia. Me do besia. Me dey pay 3 to pay 5 abra. Nyame ya na o kira. Meko pay 6 to pay 7. Ya beto so akose mewi. Na wo hu na twina, e dey me petrim wa badwuma wo Ghana we mu. Na me ka cha ban mpanimfo se om nkomra biem om nkoda na om nwina ko bibini o ye nipa nyame yadma o kira ye beto so salute you good morning.